Oh, okay. Diaz goes up the middle, out to centre field, and just spilled out of the glove, in through the cut, and she's made it all the way to third. Diaz starts the Tigers' day off with a stand-up triple.
Good piece of the ball there by Regan.
Georgia Mason was the one running back towards the fence there. So, Tigers get an early jump. So, it's the shortstop Sasha Mutsi.
Seacombe here would want to be making sure we can try and score Regan. Bill Benedictson just putting on a signal.
Low across the knees to make it a hitter's count here. So Tigers with a real big opportunity early on. Jammed on the hands. Robertson attacks it, holds the runner at third real quick, makes the play to Gray at first. And as you'd expect from the superstar that is Chelsea Robertson, puts the Tigers away, one out. Diaz stuck at third.
Textbook there, held the runner, made sure she wasn't going anywhere, got the out at one.
Yeah, just jammed her up on the handle. Becky Havis, batting .250 for the Tigers, members of the state teams this year, back in her traditional first base spot. Has an early opportunity to make an RBI.
Regan's made quite a big impact being a number off lead off for Seacombe in the last few weeks. A inside home run.
Good high pitch, asking the question of the Tigers superstar. Havis good enough to stay off it.
Becky now needs to try and protect the plate here, full count.
Gets her pitch, hits over the top of it. Robertson attacks it. While she's unable to pick the ball up, she's more importantly able to keep it in front of her, which doesn't allow Diaz to get off of third. Havis has got to first. Tigers have runners at 1 and 3 with one out in the top of the first, and it's the clean-up hitter, catcher, Brianna Lint.
Yes, just both teams having a bit of a chat. Walkerville will just be trying to calm the situation now, see what they're going to do with the field with the ball. Keep the runner at 3 or throw the ball over. Seacombe would like to try and get Becky over to 2 if they can. Get to have 2 in scoring position.
Lynch shows bunt. Havis comes off a long way. King falls in behind the pitcher Martinez for a shallow second, looking to keep a track on that runner at 3. No cover for Havis at first, so expect her to come off a lot deeper this time. Same play. Lint levels the count. Coach Benedictson's had a look now at what it looks like. Good batting. She stays off it. Gray now taking interest in Havis at first. So it looks like we're...
Interesting, Brianne's coming around showing a bunt, but she's not going to bunt. It's just to help her track the ball, keeps her aligned with where she needs to be. She does bring the bat right back.
Leans back on this one, goes high out to right field, and Maxine Saunders, good effort over towards the fence. Sophie King joins her there, but no play made.
Probably the right decision not to catch that ball then, because I'm pretty sure Reagan would have been on her way home very quickly then.
Yes, very fast runner. Tigers looking aggressive so far in this game. Swings over the top of that one. Good mix by Martinez.
Bree just getting tied up there a little bit. Try and get the ball out in front a bit more.
Yeah, across the letters. Lint leans back on the inside, brushes her back, but...
Good discipline planning, not touching that one.
Blue Fairley's called a full count here at 1 out. So Havas will be going, but making sure the ball's not in the air. Diaz will be tagging. Not now. She's going to come off hard. King knocks the ball down in front. But the hard shot by Lint across the diamonds done the job. Diaz scores from her stand-up triple lead-off. Havas on, Lint on, 1 out. Runners at 1 and 2. And coming to the plate, it's Abby Mossman, third base.
It's amazing what happens when you put the ball into play. You never know what's going to happen. Seacombe now with his runners at 1 and 2.
Doesn't take any time as she just leans back and goes bang. Saunders, great backhand pickup out at right field, but Havas has been good enough to score from second as Mossman, one pitch, stand-up RBI single to right field, scores Havas. Lentz advanced to third, and the Tigers find themselves jumping out to an early 2-0 lead here in the top of the first with 1 out.
Really good piece of the ball there. She got all of that. Good spot. Great fielding by Maxine Saunders at right field there. Kept the runner at 1, but Brianna is also standing at 3. So 1-3 split again. Oh, there's a bat still in play at the moment.
So left field, Bianca Pash comes to the plate. Played first base in the Rezzies just before this. Member of the state under-18 squad. Travelling to Mirrabooka in January. Martinez brushes her back off the plate early in the count. Lot to get to. We'll catch you up in the changeover in the first innings. Thanks for your patience early on today. It's Walkerville versus Seacombe on Walkerville Club Day. Lots to celebrate, lots to going around. It's a battle between 6th versus 7th. Not that you'd know it by the way these two teams are going at each other early today. Seacombe coming off of a couple of tough losses. The Cats pushed the Magpies last weekend in a double header. So, very big game coming up today. I'm your host, Anthony Weatherstone, joined by a significantly better half in Kylie Weatherstone, who's wearing a Seacombe uniform, but on Walkerville Club Day, they will claim her as her own since she's a 4-time premiership player with the Cats, 2-time Kathleen Coral medalist, 10-year state rep, and also now state under-18 battery coach. Martinez just losing a bit of control here. Obviously, that can happen after a couple of consecutive big hits. Havas went hard, Lint went harder, Mossman first pitch ambush, and Robinson's already called time, and Coach Stansfield's called time here. Just trying to keep a bit of a track on letting this game get away from them before it even starts.
Yeah, good patient batting there by Bianca. Got the walk. Now, Binny's come out to have a chat, try and calm the situation down. Seacombe are looking very good. It's a good first innings for them. They're going to need to keep it going. Trying to at least score a couple of these more runs.
Well, in the analysis, sort of, we were going to talk about before, just that highlights about the Cats' defence isn't too far away. Ironically, they've actually been pretty tight in not letting teams get away from them. They just haven't been able to capitalise on the offence. Seacombe, on the other hand, don't seem to have trouble scoring, but they just can't stop teams scoring against them. So it's an interesting game today from that perspective.
It's all about taking your opportunities when you can. Up to bat at the moment is Lara Litmus. She's one of our Swedish girls that have come across to play for the Tigers this year. She, you see, left-handed batter at the moment. Got some wheels as well. We're looking to try and get another runner on here, so need some contact.
Yeah, good watching.
Two balls, one strike. Should be looking for this one if it's there.
So Tigers loaded bases, one out. Blue Fairley calls one up on the outside edge.
Two in here now. She want to be protecting the plate. Anything close to make something happen.
Yep. Same stage though, one out. Really looking for a ground out double here just to get him out of a jam. You've got Robertson very shallow inside the line. You've got Sophie King very shallow inside the line. Walkerville know the play. Martinez now just got to be able to execute that low ground out pitch. Tipnis takes a big swing at it, trying to clear that infield, and has gone down swinging for the second out.
Just catch a speed up rule.
Advantageously, the fastest team on the team comes out and replaces the catcher, who's come off for the 2-out speed out rule. Brings Georgia Tompkinson to the plate. So Walkerville, big opportunity here to break this game open real early. Top 6 batters have all threatened.
Georgia's another one who's also in the under-18 state team going away to Perth in January.
Good cut, fouls it away, levels the count 1-1.
Yeah, just got that one adjacent to her. Really need to try and get out the hands out a bit earlier, get the ball in front. Walkerville really looking here to get this third out, get out of this jam.
King still shallow, Robinson on the line. Tompkinson gets asked the question. The Walkerville outfield very, very shallow. Dangerous with the wind as it is. It is blowing from right to left here on a 20-something degree day. Over to Sophie King. No trouble there as she takes a simple ground out to retire the Tigers, who leave 3 runners on in the first innings. Coach Benedictson up and about. And let's take this opportunity to regroup. We've had some technical difficulties at the start, unfortunately, so we've worked through it. Producer Brandon has worked his magic. So it's live softball action coming to you from Diamond 1 West Beach, South Australia on the beautiful Gala land. It's round 5 of the CMAX Premier League, playing for the Linda Martin Shield. Today it's Walkerville Softball Club's day, and they are playing the Seacombe Tigers. It's 6th versus 7th, but as stated just before, the Cats have been super competitive lately with a couple of close games to the league-leading Port Magpies last week, while Seacombe's only win of the season, ironically, was against the Cats all the way back in round 1. So you know who I am, I'm the host, Kylie to my left, so forgive the reality TV episode that we're going to serve up today. We'll be on our best behaviour to make sure that we can give you some quality softball action today. Today, big day for the Cats, their club day, but also they're celebrating one of their greats. Sophie King plays game 400 for the Walkerville Cats today. Widely respected and very popular player. One of the quiet achievers, you would suggest. Premiership player, state player in multiple teams. Just an all-round great person, plays a variety of positions. She's chaos on the base pass, she's super fast, good eye. And so hats off to her. Big crowd in here today supporting her in her big game, as Walkerville are also having the battle of the Double D Cup, which has also been played at the same time between the Walkerville D grades. So, plenty to go through there, Kylie. So,
well said.
All right, so it's Diaz here, my first time watching her live. So I've seen Martinez once before, but she's been a great addition to the Tigers, batting .583, so leading their offense, throwing to the superstar that is Chelsea Robertson. As I said before, the Tigers' issues isn't necessarily with their offense, it's their defense. Their pitching collectively has got an ERA +6. Their defense is fielding just above 800. So if they can tidy those two areas up, all of a sudden with their offense, they come straight back into the picture.
Yeah, it is a battle. It always is going to be a battle, but I'm sure that, you know, we keep putting our feet one step after the other. Seacombe will get ahead soon enough. Chelsea Robinson at the plate at the moment. Held off that one. Three balls, one strike. Good pitch there from Reagan coming back, getting that strike 2 she needs.
All happening today.
Full count here.
Robinson smashes the ball out to deep right field on a line drive, but it's just gone wide, foul. So, and we've got a little bit of a special announcement coming up very shortly. If you just hang with us, just going to see this opening lead-off battle between Diaz and Robinson. It's the bottom of the first, Tigers 2-0 up. And Robinson gets that walk and brings the player we were just speaking about in her 400th game for the Walkerville Cats. As the crowd erupts, it's Sophie King. And at the same time, speaking of special guests, we've got a special guest who's just joining us in the box. We're just going to get to her in just a second, just make sure that we're all good. Sophie King here, game 400. Robertson, no time, just goes straight away and easily beats that throw on the bounce. And the Cats have jumped straight back into action here with a runner at second, at none out, King at the plate, and then Gray, Roberts, Martinez to follow. So Cats making a bit of a charge here. Just a little bit on the inside there for King.
Yeah, Chelsea took good speed there on the bases. Knew that she would be able to get there. Rand's arm just wasn't quite up to that one.
High, good watching by King. Diaz asking the question. Second base is going to get a workout trying to keep Chelsea Robertson close to that base. Good luck with that. So King, opportunity here. Anything could happen. Just cut.
Beautiful pitch there from Reagan. Nice curve pitch. Sophie just got underneath it, fouled it off.
Bottom of the first here. Cats first opportunity. Their lead off, Chelsea Robertson, has got on the superstar. And in game 400, Sophie King is at the plate. Gray and Roberts to follow. Diaz low, lots of good mix here. Good pace, both pitches showing good pace. Martinez just lost a little bit of control after the back-to-back hitting that the Tigers did through the middle of their order. But and King swings over the top of that one. The special guest that we didn't announce before, but we're going to announce her now. We've got a little bit of Cats royalty and Softball Australia royalty in the house. She's was a state under assistant national championship winning coach, Walkerville club legend, Janelle Barron. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
No worries. Thank you for joining us. Bit of Walkerville flavour there. Obviously a successful coach with the Cats, and most of you would all know her as one of the successful Australian Open women's selectors over many years now. So, as I said, very much ranking 3 here in the commentary box. Gray goes inside out as she puts the ball out there. So Janelle's been kind enough to spend a little bit of time with us today to come in and say hi, and especially on Walkerville Club Day, and obviously also fresh off of your Masters win, gold medal win with the Lady 80s. That's also probably worth a mention, Janelle.
Absolutely worth a mention. What an amazing week that was.
It's not mentioned enough, as far as I'm concerned. So just got to...
Gray aggressively looking here to advance Robinson. It's 1 out for the Cats. Yes, it was a good week watching the 80s.
Masters is an amazing week. Had lots of fun.
Gray goes again, but this time only as far as Tompkins at second, who doesn't take a laser. It looks like it just got her a bit up the handle as she's flied out to second base. So 2 out. So after an aggressive run by Robinson in King's at bat, we now find ourselves at 2 out, still in scoring position. Clean-up hitter and catcher Sophie Roberts comes to the plate.
Yeah, Reagan, we weren't throwing anything too nice here for Sophie. She'd want to try and get her to chase it. 2 out here, try and get a swing at a bad pitch. At a bad pitch, I was right. And get out of this innings. Tigers will be very happy to get out of here if they can get this last out.
Hard shot over to Mossman at third. Again, couldn't do much with it. The ball was hit so hard. She did all the good work just to collect it and not let it pass and score Robinson. Robinson rounds and puts pressure on, but then she's able to recover and keep her pinned at third, but it has allowed Roberts to go to first. And just like the Tigers benefited in the first innings when they swapped their catcher for the fastest runner in their team, the Cats have returned serve, and Roberts has come off, and the speedy Sophie King finds herself on the base path. It's runners at 1 and 3. It's 2 out, and it's the import Chelsea Martinez at the plate. King wastes no time in game 400 to hurry up and try and play some tag with Chelsea. Big opportunity here for the Cats. Ball on the green, has every opportunity to level this game up here in the bottom of the first. Takes a pitch, level the count.
There's a lot of hard hit balls already in this game, Anthony.
It has had that again. A battle of 6 versus 7 probably isn't the way you'd market the game, but it is two teams both desperate for a win, but at the same stage, probably not playing terrible softball. As I said, Walkerville's defense has been good. They just can't, unfortunately, string the offense together long enough. And Martinez just making sure that there was no doubt in what her intention was there as she swings, losing her balance on a great pitch on the outside by Diaz. Finds herself now behind in the count, 2 strikes. Team at bat needed right here. Left field probably a bit wide for the breeze, right to left. All shallow. Freezes her on a change-up. And the Cats lose their momentum, unfortunately, as she goes down looking.
What a great pitch that was.
Was an excellent pitch.
Yes, perfect time to do it, but it was very well done. And Martinez, I think she wasn't too sure of that one. Would she like to have been called a strike or not? But I think if she was to pitch it, I think she'd like it to be a strike.
I think any pitcher would.
Yes, that's
that
right.
Looked amazing.
So we've got Walkerville royalty in the house. Kylie, obviously 4 premierships under the GOAT Linda Martin, and a couple of Kath Corals in her time as well. Janelle spent some time at the helm there and had some success with the Cats. So Walkerville Club Day, what's Walkerville mean to you two guys?
Oh, well, to me, as it was my first A-grade head coaching role, I was very fortunate to inherit a really strong side. I'd worked under Russell Martin for a couple of years as assistant coach before I took over, and was fortunate enough to come away with the premiership. And Sophie King was one of those players. She had on her 400th game, I was reflecting and talking to her parents before, and she I also had her in 3 years of under 19 state as well. An amazing young athlete, and awesome to coach. She's amazing. Very coachable, always listens. But as a club, Walkerville's had a lot of success, but more importantly, I think, is a lot of friendships bonded. And that's what brings me out every year to Club Day, is to reconnect with all of those friends I've made.
You can't win 17 premierships in 75 years and not to have some success, as Schumacher just kicks off the first pitch of the second innings with a hard shot back to the tall Martinez, and she's thrown at it first for the first out. So, yeah, I mean, like 75 years this year for the Cats. And as I said, one of the most successful clubs in SA, and, you know, very, very proud about the fact that the ASA has announced that we now play for the Linda Martin Shield, considering their record and her record as a player, as a coach, not just within the ASA, but also over her whole career. Diaz tripled first at bat out to left centre field to a hard attempt by Mason going back towards the C-Max sign. So be interesting to see what her approach is here and what Martinez and Roberts come up with now, second time round. She's the standout batter in the Tigers lineup by some margin.
She's quite an effective player with her pitch, be able to pitch. She can bat, she can run. What can't she do? So she's been a great asset that we've been lucky to pick up.
Yep. Join the Stars.
She certainly runs those bases hard, doesn't she?
Yeah. Yes, she's a triple threat, so, and that's what the elite players are. So, do you know where she's from in the States, Kyle?
Not off the top of my head. Yeah, thanks.
Janelle's here to sell Walkerville. You're here to sell the Tigers. Like, I mean, come on, what am I doing? All right, so she finds herself in front of the count here. So we're in the top of the second. 2-0 to the Tigers. Martin has been a little bit more consistent so far in this innings. Just starting to get a groove on, but wow, Diaz just smashes that ball all the way out to centre field 4. She's turned, bested, gets the ball in, and Robertson collects the relay. But anytime you hit a ball hard past Chelsea Robertson, you know that it's going at velocity, because Robertson doesn't let too much past her.
That was nicely played off the fence too to get that ball in.
I don't think anybody was stopping that ball, to be honest. That was very well hit.
Not a chance.
No. Held up at second is probably the right call there as well.
Yeah, continues her good run of form. So Sasha Mutzi.
So it's a triple and a double.
Yeah, she's on for a cycle. Robertson hard attacks this ball from Mutzi, makes the play. Diaz turns over, but she's good enough to get to third. Far out, she's quick. And another great play by the superstar that is Chelsea Robertson. It is a privilege to come down here and watch her play at shortstop, because it is a difficult position to play, but far out, she does some amazing things out there. So Becky Havas, batting .250 for the season. Big opportunity here to put another run forward here for the Tigers at 2 out.
Yes, Reagan ran that very well there. She waited till the ball was on its way to first before she decided to go, and was always going to be safe there at third.
Want to help advance tomorrow's healthcare and get paid for your time? Log on to cmax.com.au, proud sponsors of the CMAX Premier League.
Tigers will be looking for a hit here. Really going to get Reagan home.
Yeah, 2 out. Change of pace, keeps it low. Robertson makes the play at the front, and Diaz gets thrown out. And I'm not entirely sure why I thought it was 2 out, but I was right. Robertson doesn't take the easy out. She makes the hard out at the plate to make sure, and she still gets it. How good is she?
I think they're all a little bit confused.
Yeah, that's all.
The infield was all playing inside as well. They were protecting that run. I don't think they would have been playing home if they thought.
Yeah, it's an interesting, like the last time these two teams played, it was pretty much nothing happened until like 4th or 5th, and it was the young kid Mason that actually kicked it off for the Cats. She singled, next 2 batters came out before Robertson came up and hit a triple to put Walkerville up. And then in the bottom of the 6th, for the Tigers, it was Havis that singled, Munro walked, Lint hit a 2-run triple to give the Tigers the 2-1. So, yeah, like as I said, not too much between these two teams at the moment. It's a 2-zip scoreline to the Tigers. The Cats, though, they had their chances in the first innings. The top of their lineup had Robertson at second, just after the second at bat. So, obviously, some opportunities. So, it'll be interesting to see how they go. Coming through the middle of their lineup now, Gall, Mason, Saunders and Bested. Saunders has been a surprise for the Cats as far as her numbers go. She's had the 10 at-bats, but she's picked herself up a couple of hits. She's batting .222 for a rookie of her age at right field. One of the young, talented players coming through.
And how amazing for these talented young ones to have not just Bindi coaching them, but also Linda Martin.
Yes. Anytime you can get some words of wisdom from the GOAT, it's always a lesson well learnt. So Steph Gall leading it off for the bottom of the second for the Cats. Big crowd in here running around the stands as Gall turns in. Thought she got hit by that pitch, but might have just come off the
Still got on the inside
bat.
of the bat, I think.
Yeah. She doesn't seem too phased by it, so it probably 95 plus K now. It can't have been that bad a thing.
Oh.
That's good mix by Diaz. Lynn's working her hard here. She's up and across, you know, getting the change in there early and still not afraid to challenge with the up. Gall goes up on that particular pitch, and Tompkinson, who finds herself becoming a bit of a magnet there at second for the Tigers today, takes her second line drive catch in 2 innings.
It's really important that the pitchers have some sort of variety, be able to hit an inside low and then go outside, then have a change up, or have the variety there to put the batter off, because that is their job. They're trying to upset the batter's timing, upset their rhythm, so they can get them to hit the ball off balance, or, you know, to a fielder to get the out. It's not just about striking them out, it's to make them not hit the ball as good as they could.
Well, that's exactly right, and that's what all young pitchers really need to focus on, is doing their job and listening to the coaches and the catchers. And like you said, it's not just about striking them out, it's about mixing it up and, you know, enticing them to want to swing at something that they're not going to want to, you know, have to leave, and just mixing it up, get their timing.
Mason taking some pitches here, like a veteran.
Good example there, Reagan has tried a bit of an off-speed curve then. See what she comes back with here. Oh, did you see that? That had no spin on it. That was a change-up. It was a little fast, but that had no spin on the ball. That's really hard to do. A lot of effort goes in to be able to perfect the pitch like that. Oh, good pitch.
Comes back with a fastball inside. Mason has to catch that pace up, and just good enough. Another state representative in our junior ranks here, Georgia Mason. So playing left field today. I've seen her play first. I've seen her play a bit of third. So as you'd expect with these young players, trying out some different positions. Gets jammed on the handle. Diaz waits for the ball, and Havis, back at her usual position, makes the play at first for the first out.
It's always good to be a very versatile player, to be able to play. It's probably not pitching and catching, it's a bit more specialist, but, you know, an infielder should be able to play most positions in the infield as well as being able to play outfield.
And the more versatile a player that you can be, the more opportunities you're going to have.
Exactly.
Whether that's for your club, or for your state team, or for some of those girls that want to go on to, play for Australia. The more feathers in your cap, and the harder it is for someone to say, no, you can't do something. Go out there and turn yourself into one.
Is that something you look for Australian or state?
All the time.
Yep.
All the time, because you're going to have a limited amount of players. You get to play, I don't know, you're going to 15 to the Olympics, 16 on most of our other World Cup tours, and you want versatility.
Saunders just goes with this one over to Mutsi at shortstop, and Blue Macaulay, as if he's got a tee-off time at 4 o'clock, has rung that one up at first and retired the Tigers.
Just got that play in there, I think. Nice, but she hit the ball well then. She got all of the ball.
Yeah, didn't overextend.
No.
So that was the important part there. So how privileged are we today? We've got a two-time Kath Cole medalist and multi-premiership player of the Cats. We've also got premiership coach of the Cats, who's also the Australian selector for the Open Women's. Obviously, very happy with the Ireland trip and pre-work. And how's Italy looking at the moment for 2024?
Look, we've got a lot of amazing talent, and I think this year's Nationals, whether it's 23s here in Adelaide and also Gillies Shield, are going to be a really great opportunity for some of these young athletes that we've been watching for a number of years now to really break their way into the squad. And we've got a lot of camps coming up, a lot of work to be done between now and Italy, but things are looking really promising, and I'm really excited about the future for us.
Yeah, it's awesome. And obviously the great news just recently that in their infinite wisdom, 2028, we're back in Los Angeles. Softball and baseball return to the Olympics, and hopefully that extends over to Brisbane in 2032. So big things for softball coming up in the future. So the Tigers here in the top of the third. It's the catcher, Brianne Lynn.
Been playing over in Germany in our off-season. Enjoyed herself so much this for the Tigers last year that she's decided to come back.
Yes, a couple of players like Jess Golden from the Magpies, Kath Cole medal winner herself last year, has come back and brought some friends. So Elizabeth Engler has returned after her premiership win the year before Golden came back. So she's obviously she's come back, which is great, doing the pitching, and we've seen a much improved pitching performance out of her so far. So and they've also picked up a shortstopper who I haven't actually seen play, but I keep on hearing about the fact that she's lights out. So looking forward to the Magpies on the TV coming up soon. The next game that you can see on Spacequake after this is Wednesday night, as West Torrens take on Glenelg. Battle 3v4. Lint takes another pitch, and another one of our young female commentators rocking the mic and speaking to our youthful audience, as Erin Adam McDonald gets a second shot. So very positive feedback from her early. Lint takes one across the knees here, levels that count out now at 2-2, and they'll be joined by Seacombe coach Bill Benedictson, with of course the master himself, James Harris, on the mic.
Oh,
I didn't.
Ball's just ricocheted off first base. There's glove, there were arm there, not sure. Hard hit ball.
A little bit of both, but yeah, another hard hit ball.
So Mossman, who so far in the offense has only actually taken one pitch in the game, which was a hard shot to right field. So Tigers here, one out. Lint at first. Mossman at the plate. Cats first and third have come a little bit shallower. Kings on the line. Bunt played. Gray down early. Doesn't run into the tag. Kings there, as you'd expect. Takes the out. Walkerville making sure that they get the basics done right. But Lint's advanced to second, which was the object anyway. And that now brings Pash up to the plate.
Bianca's already had 2 hits in under 18s today, so she'll be looking to add to that today in this game. Oh. Called a swing, broke her wrist after the plate.
Another versatile young player.
Yes, she's got herself a spot in the under-18 team. Outfielder, infielder, can catch. I think having Karen and Linda helping her on her way, she will benefit greatly.
And that's amazing. And there's a plane flying in at the moment. Pretty sure that's Karen Dale heading back to Adelaide.
Okay.
Oh,
We just
They did, yes, qualified for Oceania. And so that's an amazing accomplishment by all of those athletes and the officials.
yes. Spoke to Coach Fairley this morning, and yep, very positive trip. So job done.
we're lucky to have 3 players also in that team with Ruby Fidge, Abby Weir and Abby Baston.
Who all come out and played in their club games today too. Another just amazing accomplishment.
Got the
for
jet
all
lag
those.
and just moved straight on. So I think they only had to take 13 connecting flights to get out of American Samoa to back to here. So
Not to mention a small light
plane
that I
and-
would not have want to be in.
no, I'm not entirely sure I'd want to have to parachute into my World Championship qualifier. Pash just making sure that Blue Fairley saw that that was just a touch inside, and has advanced herself. Centre fielder and half of the Swedish connection here.
One out here, I think. We have one out. So interesting whether we can put a bunt down here. I think Lara is being left-handed and quite quick, likes to put the ball down.
Well, she does a lot of this where I watched in your earlier game in the Rezzies where she did it on a 3-0 count. You know, the field pretty much know what she's trying to do, and she forces them to do it. But it's that ability to execute. And then she does that, and what great, it looked like Mason had picked it up, but it's gone straight through her. Lint goes on to score. Pash will score. It's going to be an inside home run for Titmus, as the Swedish connection has doubled the Tigers' score. Wow, that was... I was literally just on the CMAX replay. I was just about to call that. Looked like, from my angle, it looked like Mason had actually attacked it and actually cut it off.
Yeah.
And then it's just gone right through it.
It did
Good.
look like she was in a good position to be able to take that ball. So
It was very well hard hit though. Nice shot there from Lara just to even get the ball out there.
very well.
You know, George would be disappointed that the ball's got past her there. But some good base running. Scored 3. Tough job for Georgia Thompson now to come up to the plate after that.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult for you ladies here to be picking our CMAX Clinical Performance Player of the Day, because there's been some great performances so far, and we're only halfway through, as Tompkinson gets straight back after work, giving Martinez no time off as the Tigers look to extend their 5-0 lead here.
Georgia going to just cutting that one off as a foul. Now need to come and protect the plate. 2 strikes. She was looking to try and punch the ball out, protect the strike zone. Just try and keep that top hand a bit tighter. Just through the ball, just got underneath it. Martinez has got 2 strikes. She can afford to have a bit of play here. Nothing fat, trying to entice her to have a go at a bad pitch.
And just fouls over the top of that one there. Tigers really aggressive today. They've been on the end of some losses recently, but today Diaz been impressive in the middle and impressive with the bat. She's had some friends though, Titmus, Lynn, Havis, all starting to rattle it a little. So the Cats here, Sophie King playing game 400 for the proud club that started 75 years ago as the Northern Districts. Need to find some answers, and they need to try and find some answers pretty soon here. Getting out of this innings is priority one as Tompkinson fouls this ball off again.
Good turnabout here from Georgia, keeping herself in there. See, shortening up in the bat there.
Grounds up off the handle. Martinez just leans over and Gray takes the play. 2 out now. So, and this is Sigrid Schumacher, the right fielder. So, and just see there on the C-Max replay. Yeah. Just a bit high on the handle there. So, Tigers 5-0 up here in top of the third. Schumacher wastes no time, brings King into the play, but she's too quick and she's thrown out at first, and she retires the Tigers, but not before they've done some damage and added 3 extra on a great shot by Titmus here on the C-Max replay. Oh, sorry, wrong batter. My bad, but it was a left-handed batter that went to that side. So I think producer Brandon's just having some fun with me today. So you can just see she's just sort of crouched up there. So the Cats here, Coach Stansfield, you can just see having a bit of a chat to some of the team there through the gate, and Coach Martin also now having a word to those that are sitting down. And the message would be at 5-0, we're halfway through, and just remember, you know, we're 6th, they're 7th, vice versa. Let's just, you know, there is still an opportunity to bat the ball here, and so it's a matter of making sure 5, unless I cannot count anymore.
There's been a lot of games recently that I've been able to commentate that have a lot of teams have come back. They might be 5-0 down, but you know, I think the other night was 5-3, and we're still with players in scoring position in the last inning. So there's no way Walkerville should be having their heads down right now. No,
well, this is Kelly Bested's first at bat here in the bottom of the third. So
plenty of game left.
But Diaz throws hard, and she's in everything at the moment. Definitely a somebody that C-Max Performance Player of the Day is going to be in strong contention for. She's been super impressive today. Back to the top of the lineup, it's the Walkerville shortstop and superstar Chelsea Robinson.
Chelsea just taking that pitch, and even on that pitch, she looked like she was ready to turn the hips there, just get herself practiced, ready to go on the ones she does want to hit.
You coached Chelsea, Janelle?
I have had the privilege of coaching Chelsea.
She would have been in premiership years?
Unfortunately for me, no. I think she was coming up through the ranks, had just come over, transitioned over from baseball with her sister Michaela, just as I was finishing up my coaching.
I forgive that. Forgive me. That was a loaded question, so I knew the answer to that. I was just trying to make sure that I didn't appear to be the only old Walkerville coach on this panel. So
yeah, most of these girls in this team that I have coached in under 18s are now heading to 30s.
Yes,
so
right.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm definitely feeling old.
Robinson
nicely hit,
hits a laser line drive, but Becky Havis probably back where she should be at first, and seeming a lot more comfortable today.
She got all of that, Chelsea.
Yeah.
I don't think she could have hit the ball any better than that, what she did then. Great catch from Becky at first. Just behind her, actually, I think. Yeah.
Just see here on the C-Max replay, she's made that look easy, which she shouldn't be doing. Sophie King here. Cats need a start somewhere. 2 out here in the bottom of the third. King flies it up over the top. In the dirt.
Dragon just trying something there. It's like some sort of change up she was thinking about giving it a go. They don't always work. But the fact that that she keeps trying is a testament to her. Good pitch.
Over the top. King had a strikeout in her first at bat, uncharacteristically for her. So I'm surprised, considering the depth of the first and third, that she hasn't tried one of her little bunts that she can sometimes do. And Diaz has got her twice now, as the Cats are retired with no addition to the score. So as we move into the top of the fourth, it's the Tigers with a 4-0 lead over the Walkerville Cats.
It is 5.
5? I said 5-0 lead in the top of the fourth.
4.
It's okay.
All right.
We know it's 5.
Oh, it's okay. Apologies, everybody. It's all coming apart. So I was just going to make some mentions out here. Adelaide Softball Association has a new activity on Saturday mornings at 9:30. It's the Home Run Heroes. It's a perfect pathway to bringing new players into our game. It's fun, inclusive, non-competitive, and a great introduction to softball. So head over to the ASA Facebook page, find the link for Home Run Heroes, and for $20, your younger player can join into a 6-week program. Check out Home Run Heroes, the perfect way to bring new players into softball. Each of the clubs have their own links as well. It's also on the Softball SA website. So great opportunity for those ages 4 to, I think it's 9, to come out and have a try. And we've obviously got some of the best in the business in regards to each of the clubs have sent some representatives through. So come be a part of that program and get a start in this wonderful sport.
It's an excellent program. I can vouch for that. My son came and did it and thoroughly enjoyed it last year.
And now has turned himself into a state player, I believe.
That was my younger son that
Oh,
did that.
right.
But my eldest son, yes, he has turned himself into an under-14 representative, which is excellent.
So it's been a while since you put the tricolours back on, so to give them a bit of a hand.
Yeah, put my hand up to help out as an assistant coach, which will be a lot of fun. They're a great bunch of boys, and I'm looking forward to it.
And where are the 14 boys heading off to?
Heading off to ACT in the
Hawker.
last week of January.
Oh, well.
I certainly didn't think I'd be putting on state clothes again for quite a few years, having put that away while I've had my 2 boys, but it's great to be out there.
ACT, end of January, be nice and cool.
I'll be heading there for the second week of January for the Gilly Shield as well.
Of course,
so
you've got your selection work to do there as well. I'll get a week's piece in the house as well as the under-18s head over to Mirrabooka, and then I'll get another week when she heads over to the 14. Happy days for everyone. And there it was. We've kept reality TV at bay for an hour, but
You're not joining us in ACT for the 14s?
No, I don't travel particularly well. Unfortunately, they don't find planes big enough. Here we are in the top of the fourth.
We've also got the state championships here too.
And Diaz, for the first time today, hasn't dominated the part of play that she's been involved in, as Martinez, her opposite number, takes a shallow fly ball off the end of the bat here. Just see it on the C-Max replay.
Just got jammed there. And way to use, Martinez using a hand there to keep the sun away. An easy catch, well done.
Shortstop, Sasha Mutsi. Waste no time here, and the Cats might get their way because it might be a very quick innings if they keep swinging early like this. Might give the Cats some time to get some momentum and try and swing it back their way. Danger, of course, here is the Tigers are at the top of their lineup, and now it's their superstar state player, Becky Havis, who just had a real breakout year last season. everybody's known her talent for some time now, and she's shown it. And last year just dominated the league for the Tigers.
Yeah, she's really coming into her own as a softballer.
Yeah, just a really good hitter, has a really good understanding of what she's trying to do and what her role dictates, which for somebody of her age is super impressive. Each at bat is an actual, she understands that those 5 or 6 minutes that she gets in the game are really important to make a difference. So she's super impressive, great character too, great club person, did some umpiring at the Masters as well. Change up by Martinez, just keeping the ball away from the plate, because you can't do that with somebody like Havas, because if you make a mistake, there's every chance that it could find its way over the Dental for School skylines out there at left centre field. Here we go. And a well-picked walk, not for the first time in her career. Brings the hard-hitting catcher, Brianna Lynn, to the plate. He's had a couple of hard shots here.
Probably the worst thing about being a catcher, having to get that gear on and off all the time. And right when it's your turn at bat, do you put it on? Do you put it off? It's 2 out.
I always take my hat off to all catchers.
Yes.
It's a hard job out there.
Lint takes a strike.
And then to be able to focus, coming in the batting box.
Yep.
What your job is here. You've got to get a safe hit, keep the team going.
It's great to see Roberts behind the plate again this year. She had a couple of years away from catching, and it's good to see her back there behind the dish. Yeah,
came back from her trip from Italy, refreshed and revitalised, probably learnt some new things, and always been a great talent. So, and obviously we'll get her opportunity with the Stars this year at Hawker for the Gillies, so I'm sure she'll be under your watchful eye amongst many others. Good change up by Martinez. Robinson gets a horrible bounce, but as per usual with Chelsea Robinson, makes it look reasonably simple. And that's the 3rd out of the innings.
Just got to keep low on those ones, don't you? She just made that look so easy. She kept low. She came across.
Well, if I'm Coach Stansfield in this particular instance, as you see here on the C-Max replay, it's just bouncing all over the place at the moment. I'll take that innings because we've gone through the top of their line, 1, 2, 3, 4, no damage. So now's that opportunity where we're going to come through effectively 3, 4, 5 of our lineup. The Cats need a base runner. They need to start creating some pressure, because at the moment Diaz is just having a game, out. In regards to she's pitching well, she's hitting well, she's fielding well, everything's going her way. So you need to sort of take some of those good times that she's having away from her out there, and sometimes a bit of pressure, some base runners, that's all they need. And so, as we head here into the top of the 4th. No, I said that last innings and got in trouble. Top of the 5th. We're about to lose our special guest as she's got to head off for some Walkerville club duties.
It's bottom 4, actually.
Bottom 4. See, I told you I got it wrong anyway, so I've been thrown. So, Janelle, thank you so much for giving up your time today and joining us on the mic. Hopefully not the last time. It was great to have you. All the best with the under 14 boys.
Thank you.
And also the Gillies Shield. So, thanks for your time today.
Amazing. Thanks for having me.
All good. So the Cats continue here now with Jenny Gray batting in the 3 spot, their first base, coming back after a season off. Takes a good mixed pitch. So 1-1.
Reagan's still showing their variety of pitches that she's got.
Yeah, she's thrown the whole bag
she
today.
Has, yes.
It's been a super impressive. As I said, my first opportunity to see her live, and she's been very good. So Robinson's been good, Lint's been good, Havas has been good. So there's been plenty of players out there that are putting themselves forward for the C-Max Performance Player of the Day. You want to help advance tomorrow's healthcare and get paid for your time, log on to cmax.com.au. So Walkerville Club Day down here at West Beach on Ghana land. Gray bounces one off of the glove of Havis. That's the second line drive that she's had in back-to-back batters. And this one just a little bit higher than the last one, just above her glove. And the Cats get their base runner they say desperately needed. Brings cleanup hitter Sophie Roberts to the plate.
Opportunity here for Walkerville. Sophie up on at the bat.
Takes a pitch just above the knees. Yes. Can't be looking to try and get 5 on this at bat. Just got to advance this runner and get yourself on and just keep building that pressure. That looked like it just came off the end of the bat for Roberts. Didn't time it. And Mutsi seemed to be hanging in the air for what seemed like an eternity as she took that catch. But
there was a nice curve pitch there from Raga, which upset Sophie's timing with the bat because the ball was heading out off the plate. So she couldn't quite get all of it, and that's why it popped up over nicely for Sasha at shortstop there.
So Coach Stansfield has, in a one-out situation here, taking Jenny Gray out and replacing it with some youth and speed. Just trying to
it's either Ashlyn May or Danny Vari.
Can you find out? All right, so Martinez at the plate. Martinez inside out, flies it out to over first base, and it's down. And the 2-out speed up rule for the pitcher, which is an optional rule, whereas the catcher isn't.
Not sure what here Bill's asking.
I think it might be just because of the overstep, and maybe if there was a opportunity for a little bit of obstruction that didn't allow the throw back on the other side. So, but there's a very good chance that I'm wrong. But at 5-0 up, I'd be pretty content with how things are going at the moment. Just try and keep momentum here because the Tigers are in control here on Walkerville Club Day. The Cats, though, continuing to fight. Steph Gall, the third base, comes to the plate. Runner's gone. Lets her go. And when the runner's Chelsea Robertson,
probably a good idea.
Probably save your powder for something that's doable. Robinson finds herself in scoring position yet again. Gould takes one across the letters. Tigers on top, 5-0 here. It's the bottom of the fourth here in Walkerville Club Day. Goal smashes the ball and it's inside the line. Robertson will stand and score, and Goal has done exactly what the Cats needed, and that is score that run and try and create some pressure. So great batting by the third base for the Walkerville Cats, number 75.
Just got it inside the diamond there.
Havis's 2 previous plays have taken her away from the base. This one has just gone over the base on the other side. So Mason here, who took some pitches early on in her first at-bat, I would suggest she'll be a little bit more aggressive in this at-bat. as she's fouled off the first pitch nice and high. And all of a sudden the crowd's up and about as the Cats here starting to fight back. They're doing it 2 out here in the bottom of the 4th, trailing the Tigers 5-1. Good change of pace there by Diaz. Smart calling by Lynn. You've just seen a big first cut from the young player at the first pitch. So the second pitch, just changing the pace. Keep the hitter thinking. Mason gets after it and fouls it off as Diaz now finds herself in front. 1 pitch away from taking some momentum away from the Cats, whereas Mason 1 pitch away from giving the Cats all types of hope. Inside, Blue Fairley has a look, but lets it go. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. And again, off pace by Diaz, and Mason's good enough to get her hands out in front and foul this one off.
Curve's been quite successful for Reagan today.
But she's throwing into it too,
yes,
which is, I thought, was weird. I thought, if anything today, the drop and the change were going to be maybe a touch more effective, but she's made it work. Mason inside out. Tompkinson off the end of her glove. Gall reaches second. Mason reaches first on the error that comes off of the end of Tompkinson's glove. Difficult play. But the Cats now just starting to build some back-to-back hits. Ball just fell on her at the last second. I don't really think it was more her fault. The ball just seemed to just fall out of the sky in that regard.
Died on her.
But great centre field action there as she was right in on the backup, which kept Gall at second. So that brings Maxine Saunders to the plate. Bested to follow before the Cats go back to the top of their lineup. So opportunity here at 2 out. Saunders got a good shot onto the left side of the diamond. First cut was a hard one. Second one, she just went with the pitch and had some control. So difficult spot for the young player. She's fouled this one off as she's chased the ball on the up, but she's hit it into foul space, sorry.
Reagan will want to get a strike here, get a top.
Well, the hardest thing that she's got to keep an eye out for is that Saunders gets on, advances a runner, then maybe Bested gets on, maybe advances a runner, scores a run or two, but then you bring Robertson to the plate with bases loaded 2 out, then the game's in all sorts of trouble. So she's going to need to take a moment here. That wind starting to pick up. It seems like last night's overnight change has finally arrived. Saunders fighting at the plate, did a good job there fouling that one off across the plate, nearly beat her.
Just heard Linda Martin there at first base coaching, telling her runners to go on the pitch.
Yeah, 2 out. Cats trying to create pressure. 2 very big at-bats here. Saunders and Bested, some of the young players of the rising Cats. Saunders, that's a great shot. That's just going to fall in the spot. Gall turns, great running, and it's a bang-bang play at the plate. And they had to send her, and unfortunately, it was a great throw by the centre field import, that is Litmus. If I've got that.
Yes.
Titmus, sorry. That was a great piece of batting. So just here on the C-Max replay, and coach, Blue Fairley has rung her up at the plate, but it was the perfect shot by Saunders. Again, just another one of those balls that just breaks the infield. And you can just see here Goal, full extension, ball comes in the frame. She's got all of the plate covered, and the throw made the difference there as Titmus's good game continues. Well, that was it for the Cats right there. That was a big play.
Nice throw there from Lara. Just having another look, bounced, made it easy for Brienne to be able to tag her there.
Couldn't have been happier with that. So,
no, that's right.
So that was a big play because obviously we were just saying, you know, goal scores 5-2. Bester comes up. Saunders, you know, you've got bases effectively loaded, and then you've got Robinson on deck. So the Cats showing some. Top of the fifth, Cats showing some great fight there. What they need right now is a real quick innings and get back in there and pick up some of that momentum because it will be 9-1-2 in their lineup. So Mossman, the third base for the Tigers, who's had a good
Nice shot at right field
early on. Yeah,
first innings, yes.
Yeah, she hasn't been hanging around. As soon as it's challenged the plate, she's gone straight after it. And she's gone after this one again here.
Change of pace there from Martinez.
Yeah. CMAX, you want to help advance tomorrow's healthcare and get paid for your time? Log on to cmax.com.au, proud sponsors of the CMAX Premier League. Takes an off-speed pitch on the outside. It's the Tigers 5, the Cats 1. We're in the top of the fifth. Tigers coming through the middle of their lineup. The Cats about to go through the top of theirs. And she's done it again to the same side, and this one goes underneath Saunders. Great shot by Mossman. She's turning for third. Saunders recovers the ball, coming in through the cut. She's made third. Benedictson's called her through, and then he's held her up. And in the process of holding her up before he resent her on the exchange, maybe there's a chance for an infield home run, but let's check it out here on the CMAX replay.
That was the pitch before.
That's the pitch before?
Yes. Nice piece of the ball there from Abby. Unfortunately, Saunders just didn't get herself in the right position to be able to field that. Some good running. I reckon I might have sent her. Do you think?
Yeah, you could see that he wanted to,
Yeah.
and then he played safe because it's none out, because it's the first batter, and you don't want to burn the first batter when you're none out and you've got batters to follow. But then he held her, and then he went to send her again. So.
Interesting, the bat was actually sitting right in the middle of the line where she would have been running as well. So a bit of a safety there issue as well.
So Bianca Pash recently had a birthday, I believe. So just announced in the state under 18 team as well, heading over to Mirrabooka in January. Played first in the Rezzies today, I believe, covering for somebody.
Yes, a little bit sore.
Swings over the top of that one. It's getting difficult out there at the moment. The ball's starting to swirl around as the wind's picking up here. So advantage pitcher at the moment because they're getting a little bit more moment. So we're seeing the replay of Mossman. She's turning. You watch her head. She's watching Bill, and then she stops and turns and looks back in. And then she lost all contact when he then actually resent her. But it's all good. She's still out there at third. It's none out. Pash has just fouled off the ball over the first base line. Yeah. Yes, I haven't been able to get my login working. And Pash picks a well-aimed walk. And wonderful scoring team today, led by Lindy Radigan and Sue Norris.
I think Bianca just got ahead of herself there. It's actually 3-1 call.
Oh, 3-1. I was going to say, that's very advantageous. So we'll just see what this pitch is, and our scoring team's got an update from the other game. Ground out to pitcher. Martinez holds the runner, plays Gray at first, and keeps her at third, bringing Titmus to the plate and to see if she can repeat some of her earlier heroics. Over on Diamond 2. It's the 5th innings. It's bottom 5. The Rebels 3 over the Hills 1 in a very, very tight game. Zali Summers all the way from the Queensland Heat throwing 7 strikeouts so far for the Heat, keeping them in it. So thank you to Lindy Radigan, South Australian Hall of Famer, scoring director, and recently announced as the reward recipient for the player of the final, now known as the Lindy Radigan Trophy, which we will see come grand final night in the middle of March. In a busy month of softball, the week prior to the finals here for the Adelaide Softball Association, it'll be the Men's Open Fast Pitch Championships, where you'll be able to see players from the Aussie Steelers, the current world champions, and men from the under-23 world champions, all competing down here at West Beach in what's going to be a fantastic tournament. Ball loose at the plate here, and the Tigers take the opportunity as Mossman scores on the back of her stand-up triple, taking some pressure away from Titmus, as the Tigers are able to get that run back that the Cats had worked so hard to get, and then had opportunities for more. And now they find themselves still now chasing 5 as we go into the last 10 minutes of this game. And Titmus, unlike some of her earlier stuff, 3 big swings. And Tompkinson coming out of the game, and been looking forward to seeing this player here. Watched her in your reserve game earlier, Kylie. Super impressive. It's the pitcher who's now pinch hitting for Georgia Tompkinson, and her name is Emily Eriksson from Sweden.
Awesome performance in the B grade just the game before. 16 strikeouts.
If you don't mind.
If you don't mind, that's right. And a double. I think it was double or triple, can't remember which one, but very well hit ball as well.
Has a fascination with Barossa pear cider.
Already. It's very confident in the batting box there.
Yeah. She was throwing genuine rockets in that B grade game. She looked super impressive. So
she was in the groove, and that, you know, nice feeling to have when you're in the groove when you're a pitcher. She definitely was in that.
Gets an opportunity here. And good watching so far. Martinez just struggling to keep that zone. Game 400 for Sophie King for the Walkerville Cats. Over at second base today.
Fantastic achievement at any level, but 400 for Walkerville.
Blue Fairley lets that one go through. Yeah, she's been a great club servant of the Cats. So, as I said, popular player. Coming up after this, if you're down at the grounds, big swing at that one by Eriksson. It's going to be the Sturt Falcons versus the West Torrens Eagles in a 5 o'clock game, which will be a cracker here. So if you've got time, get down to West Beach. Bar 66 is open. There's sausage chisel from the Walkerville Cats just finishing up probably. So grab yourself something to eat and drink. Come and watch an amazing game of softball. Eriksson inside out, the front, looks every bit a Premier League player here as she's flied that one out, line drive over the first base line. And catches up on that pace there late in the game as Martinez throws a fastball, which is good enough to match it, and fouls off, staying alive in this count. Long at bat for Eriksson.
Just what you want to see when you're coming into the game like this. Full count.
And she's picked herself a walk. Nothing worse than being a pinch hitter and coming in and getting yourself a walk. But she'll be happy to show that she's gone the depth in the count. The tall athlete that she is at first. It's 2 out here in the top of the 5th. Sigrid Schumacher, the right fielder, comes to the plate. Takes one across the letters on the outside. Producer Brandon just highlighting the uniform number as she goes inside out into the centre right hole, centre left hole even. Eriksson, the athlete's going to score as Schumacher slides in and stands up at third in the end as a double relay comes in for the Cats. As the Tigers just keep hitting the ball today. That's their number 9 hitter that's just done that stand-up triple. As another run gets scored, as we see here on the C-Max replay, nothing you could do about that. On its way to the fence, Mason picks up, overthrow. Robinson got the throw, but then as she went to throw, the ball got stuck in her hand, I think. I'm not sure if that was because of whether the decision to make about going to third or not. So, but Eriksson goes on and scores. Schumacher rolls into third, and the Tigers jump out to a 7-1 lead.
Just might be having an issue with the pitching mat that's out there at the moment. In our previous game, the plate got removed because that got ripped up. So now it looks like the mat is getting a whole lot of sand underneath it. So just pulling it across. Annalise taking charge. Just putting her foot down on there to try and give it stability.
So the heavily pregnant Seacombe coach has decided to act as grounds crew as the 3 blue umpires all have their hands on their hips, just standing there watching her do that. So the 21st century is a great thing, isn't it? So there you go, problem solved. There you go, the opposition coach has just fixed up your pitching mat.
Look, it can be a safety issue there, so you want to make sure that it is actually securely put in the ground there, and there's nothing lifting up, because the last thing you want as a pitcher to you're relying on putting your foot, you're leaping off the plate for a start, and you're putting your foot down quite heavily. So if it's not safely secured there, you could easily get very injured. So doing the right thing there and making sure that it is all safe.
Yes, well, mission achieved. Mission achieved as we're at 4:27. So this will be the last play of the game in that regard. And our legend Lindy Radigan has just provided the update. The Rebels have run out winners over the Hills and Zali Summers from Queensland as Rebels 5, Heat 1. That's the first game in their doubleheader. So they'll get to turn around and do the same thing yet again. So we've passed the extra innings time. So basically Seacombe will now bat, and then Walkerville will get their 3-out opportunity at the end to try and run down the score, which is currently 7-1 in favour of the Tigers. Probably at the moment, I would suggest C-Max Clinical Player of the Day candidate Riven Diaz, the leadoff.
You'd have to maybe consider Lara in that conversation there, with a nice infield home run as well as a nice play at the plate. Yep,
great field, absolutely. She's hit over the top of that one. Robertson, what a great backhand and turn and throw. Gray steps in to try and make the field that little bit smaller, but in the process, unfortunately, the ball's just fallen short as Tigers have gone on to score.
Well
run number 8.
Chelsea there,
amazing
beautiful hands. Just couldn't quite get the throw over where she would like to have been.
Yeah.
Look at that.
She's actually running away from first base when she's had to turn back and do that.
Of course, with Reagan's speed,
it
was always going to be a very hard out to get.
Sasha Mucci, the shortstop, has come to the plate. the dangerous Becky Havis on deck here at 2 out. Eagles and Falcons just warming up around us here at the moment, getting ready for their big game following us. Glenelgan Hills, second game of a doubleheader down on Diamond 2. So hits over the top of this one. Schumacher Robertson just sits and waits and throws her out to retire the Tigers, but not before they've put another run on the board to extend that lead to 8-1. As the Cats now have 3 outs left to try and a miraculous recovery.
Yeah, Chelsea just made that look so easy.
Oh.
Beautiful throw over to first. Textbook stuff there from a shortstop.
Yeah. Reminds you of another great shortstop that used to play out there, that used to make plays like that, Linda Martin, back in her day.
Oh, the amount of plays I've seen Linda make, from the pitching circle, the ball's gone there. I've always known that Linda was always going to get the out. So, yes, Chelsea's a very, very good player there, and I can see many more balls being thrown to first for outs there from Chelsea.
So on the ladder, this will keep Seacombe. This will actually jump Seacombe from 6th up into 5th. But the Hills, as I said, they've played the least amount of games so far in the season. So they are playing a doubleheader now. So they might get an opportunity to square that back up. So for the Tigers, this finishes a losing streak, which was the last time for the first game they won this season, which was when they beat the Cats 2-1 back in round 1. It's taken them to round 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stops a 5-game losing streak in emphatic fashion here.
Walkerville have actually had a change. They've brought on Ashley May as their lead-off batter for this innings.
So another, I would assume, debutante. Haven't seen her before. So Coach Stansfield giving some opportunity. And
Bill's just making sure that everyone knew that was a re-entry rule for Emily, who came in for Georgia on that last batting innings. So he was just putting the re-entry rule back on.
right, good pickup. If challenged, could have been some trouble.
Yes.
So, but focus back on the debutante here. It's Ashlyn May. Big swing here by 8-7. Coming into a tough part of the game. Reagan Diaz would be... Oh, good piece of the ball there. Just falls outside first base. Becky Havis making an attempt there.
Had a good go there, Becky.
But a good piece of the ball by May. That's for a debutante coming in facing one of the state pitchers and American imports for the Tigers. Good discipline too, as Diaz says, well, if you're going to have that piece, try and hit this fastball rise on the go, and she says nope. So good at bat so far. And Diaz asks the question again. Over to Mutsi at shortstop, and just gets thrown out by a yard, but a good positive first at bat from the debutante Ashlyn May. Lots to like there. A couple of good pieces of the ball. Didn't look out of place whatsoever.
Bindi just gave her a high five to say well done.
Yep. And following her, Chelsea Robinson. gets straight after it out to centre right. Difficult in this breeze, but a really good catch taken out there by Sigrid Schumacher, who's having herself a nice game as well, as she's had some good bat on ball. Nice little triple to score a run, and now she's made a great catch into a difficult breeze out there for Chelsea Robinson, who's a very valuable out.
The ball just seemed to die.
Yeah, just like that play before that Tompkinson had.
Yeah.
And game 400, Sophie King here is the 2-out batter in the top of the 5th, bottom of the 5th. And as she's done a million times before, just starts playing some tricks at the plate. Just reminding first and third that, hey, guess what? I'm super fast and I can drop it short. And then hits the ball long the next pitch. No, she's going to test them all. And she's run it up the line, and she's done it as Diaz's throw has come off the glove of Tompkinson at first base. And King, after a couple of at-bats where she'd been struck out and Diaz pretty much had the better of her, King acknowledges that, and rather than stand there and swing for the fence, regardless of that, shows her professionalism and finds a way to get herself on, bringing Jenny Gray, the first base, to the plate.
It's that old adage, isn't it? Just make something happen, because you never know what the result is going to be.
That's why she's always so dangerous.
Yeah.
She's chaos on the base pass, because she's got the speed, so you don't want her to get there. And, you know, top 6, you're down by 7. Catch them napping. Great job, Sophie King. And looked like a hit and run there, because King was long gone. She was already at second as that ball had just rolled off of Gray's foot there. Gone again. And again, the competitor that is Sophie King here in game 400, showing that regardless of the situation, she's going to keep fighting. She steals a base there on a changeup. Great heads-up base running, still trying to the last. Gray flies this one out high over the first base side, over the dugout.
Nice quick pitch there from Reagan. Setting up something else, I think, on the outside maybe right now.
As she's grounded out, as Diaz just will not stop making great play after great play. Hard shot by Gray, bounced into the ground. Diaz athletically takes it out of the air and makes the play, as the Cats have gone down to the Tigers on club day 8-1. But we want to acknowledge and celebrate game 400 for the legend that is Sophie King. And we also want to make special acknowledgement of what would have been the great man's 87th birthday today in Lee Hull, who unfortunately passed away some weeks ago. We still miss him very much, still very much in our thoughts. It's been a tough year so far. But to the great man who would have been watching today, you would have been unhappy with some of the outfield placements, I'm sure. But yeah, a shame. And so,
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, 100%. All right, Home Run Heroes, sign up at Softball SA or at the Facebook website for Adelaide Softball Association, Softball SA website. You'll see the links through your club. Home Run Heroes, Saturday mornings at 9:30 down here at West Beach. Every club's involved. Get to meet some of the superstars of the Premier League and get your kids out there having a bit of a try and having a bit of fun out there. So the Cats have gone down to the Tigers 8-1. We know the Heat have gone down to the Rebels 5-1. 2 big games to follow. We'll see you Wednesday night at 8 p.m. for Glenelg West Torrens with Mr. Softball James Harris on the mic with Aaron Adams McDonald and Bill Benedictson, who can obviously give us some insights there. Thank you, Kylie, for your attendance today. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Anthony.
Thank you, producer Brandon, for another tough day at the office, but we got through it. All right, thanks everybody for your time, and we will look forward to seeing you on Wednesday.